Last thing then, before we get into writing some actual code here, is talking about some of the code editors and tools out there that you can use for development. Now, by far the most common thing that I get asked whenever I do these classes and tutorials is what text editor or what software am I using? So I'm going to tell you what I'm using, but it's probably not what I would recommend for you, especially if this is your first sort of foray into coding. I'll show you what I started out using, the very first piece of software I used all those years ago. But to talk about what I'm using, what this is right here, what you're looking at is a software called Cloud9. Now, Cloud9 is what's called a Cloud IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. And what an integrated development environment tries to do is try to bring all of the stuff that you need for development under one roof or sort of one application. So as you can see it here, it says it lets you write, run, and debug your code, in this case of a Cloud IDE within just a browser. You also have desktop IDEs like, for example, NetBeans. I think Eclipse is one as well, where these are actually software you download and install on your computer. And again, they try to bring all of it sort of under one roof. And and then the cloud version of that, of course, a Cloud IDE is one that is hosted in the cloud. You don't have to download it. You just create an account, sign into an account, and you access it through your web browser. I like these because no matter what computer I'm using, I can just simply log into my account and all of my code as I left it is right there. There's no syncing or any of that sort of thing. It's all just in one account and I can access it from anywhere. I don't even have to access it from my own computer. So it's really handy in that sense. However, again, if you're just starting out into coding, this can be a little bit sort of overkill, and it can probably make things a little bit harder because you're now trying to figure out this really robust piece of software along with learning the language, when there's a lot simpler stuff out there that you can sort of start out on. And once you get sort of comfortable with coding and using the software, then you can sort of upgrade into one of these. Now, if you do want to go the Cloud IDE route and you want to just go all in, I personally right now don't think that I would recommend Cloud9. I'm sort of in a unique position because I already have an account. You'll see we have this login for existing Cloud9 customers. And so I'm logging into an interface that I'm familiar with, that I've been using, and I like the way it was before. But Cloud9 was bought out by Amazon, and now in order to use it, you have to create an instance inside of their whole system. I forget the name right off the top of my head, an EC2 instance, and all of this extra stuff that, again, if you're just new to coding, that in and of itself could be really, really difficult. So one that's out there that might be a little simpler, that's a Cloud IDE, is Code Anywhere. It's a little bit more like what Cloud9 used to be. There's also Code Envy. You could really just Google Cloud IDE and see a bunch of different options out there. And what I would suggest is just trying them. Most of these are going to have some sort of free option like this. So try the free option, mess around with a couple different ones, and figure out which one you want if you want to go to Cloud IDE route. But what I would recommend to you if you are absolutely brand new to this is actually a piece of software called Notepad Plus. And the reason is because Notepad Plus is just sort of a code editor. It doesn't have all of that other stuff inside of it. And it's actually really handy. It has syntax highlighting. It has some useful stuff, like you'll see right here, you have the save, but then you'll see these multiple save. It actually will save every file that you have open. It has sort of some find and replace and undo and things that are a little bit better than just sort of your standard Notepad, but aren't as complicated as a full IDE. So if you're brand new, I would recommend something like this. There's also Sublime Text that's out there. There's Brackets. There's Atom. Those are all fine. Again, Notepad Plus is the one that I started out with, so that would be what I would recommend for you. It is a desktop software, so you download it, install it to your computer, and it works really, really well. The last thing that I want to talk about is perhaps you may have tried to do maybe mess with some PHP code and so forth before, and you'll have noticed that when you try to run that PHP code just in your browser, it doesn't render the PHP code. It actually just displays the code that you wrote in your code editor. And the reason it does that goes back to what we talked about before between the difference between a server and a client-side language. The server-side language needs that server software. It needs Apache, it needs MySQL, it needs PHP, the rendering engine. It needs all that software installed to be able to render PHP code. So if you just try to open a PHP file in your browser, it's not going to work. HTML, however, is different. So I'm going to go ahead and hit edit with Notepad Plus here, and let's just put about me right here, just like this. And as a matter of fact, let's put a tag, and we'll do about me. So the strong tag is basically to make this bold, and we save that. We can actually open this straight up inside of our browser, and you'll see here our text here is actually bolded. So because HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are client-side languages, we don't need that web server. We don't need that PHP rendering engine. We don't need that MySQL database software. We can open these files directly in our browser like this. Now, eventually, I would recommend that you get sort of a web server emulator, because if we look at some of the pathing here, if we come down here and look at the URL, you will see that you are at file//c users. And so that can be, when you get into certain parts of coding, that can become a problem. But just for learning the basics of sort of HTML and CSS, you're generally going to be okay when it comes to that sort of thing. If you do want to download a server emulator, you can use something called WAMP server. So we'll go to wampserver.com, and what a piece of software like this is going to do, let's click over to English. What a piece of software like this is going to do is it's going to essentially allow you to emulate a server. Remember, we talked about client server. It's going to allow you to emulate that on your own computer, and it will install Apache. It will install MySQL. It will install PHP, and will sort of set everything up so that you can then run files as if you were running them on an actual remote server from a hosting company or whatever. So again, it allows you to emulate that environment. So you don't need it for what we're going to do here inside of this course, but if you do want to sort of get set up with something like this, WAMP server is an option. There's another one called XAMPP. There's one called MAMP, and then of course most cloud IDEs have this built right into them, so you don't actually have to even install this software. They bring the emulator and they bring the code editor sort of all under one roof. Again, that's cloud IDEs specifically. Desktop IDEs don't necessarily do that. So again, I know there's a lot out there. At the end of the day, if all of this is super confusing to you, download Notepad++ and then just open the files in your browser and start there. And then as you get more comfortable with the coding part of things and so forth, then you can think about maybe upgrading your software and trying some of this stuff.